Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to the Remo Platform and Workforce Connect Conference. My name is Sarah Bentham, and I'm the director of the Henry Bernick Entrepreneurship Center, and I'll be the moderator for today. As we start out this conference, I wanted to acknowledge that I'm currently presenting to you from the traditional land of the Anishinaabe people. The Anishinaabe include the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as Three Fires Confederacy. Let this acknowledgement serve as a reminder of our ongoing efforts to recognize, honor, reconcile, and partner with First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and Indigenous peoples, whose lands and water across different continents and oceans that we've been situated on at some point in our lives, we benefit from today. The land that surrounds us reflects our history. It's proof of the powerful efforts and hard work that Indigenous peoples dedicated and continue to dedicate to building the community and territory. They have influenced who we are and what we've become, and we acknowledge that their contributions and skills in trades, math, technology, arts, architecture, wellness, culinary, astronomy, and farming. They've guided our community throughout time and have helped build the national and international economy that we know to this day. Alongside our presenting partners, we are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nation, Métis, Inuit, and Indigenous people worldwide. They are the traditional guardians and enduring caregivers of the place that we know as Simcoe County and beyond. Well, everybody, we've got a great crowd here today and a morning full of excellent speakers and thought-provoking conversations. There are a few housekeeping items. So I imagine that you landed in the Remo platform, and if you're new to this platform, you were seated at a table. You probably didn't know the people that you were sitting beside, and you probably don't exactly know how to use the platform yet. So I'm going to help you with that. In addition to what we talk about this morning, you'll have tech support situated at the very bottom of the floor plan. It looks like a larger table. And so if you go down in that area, you can have help with your mics, your cameras, and anything else that you might need today. When you sit back out on the floor plan, right now we're in presentation mode, you'll be able to turn your camera and mic on. When your camera and mic on, you can converse with the people that are at your table. Nobody from the other tables can hear the conversations you're having, and so this platform is a really great way to have those intimate connections that we've been missing for the past 2 years. There's also tiles along the left. One looks like an elevator. So if you find that you want to play around a bit, and I think, in this life, it's all a little bit about play, please take the chance to jump on the elevator and go up to another floor, and you'll see the same floor plan, but a whole bunch of different guests that we have. When we go back, I'll share more information about how you can use the platform to the best of its ability and encourage networking and connection making. At this time, I'm very proud to announce that I get to welcome the County of Simcoe Warden, George Cornell, to begin our conference with some opening remarks.
Great. Thanks very much, Sarah, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Workforce Connect 2022 conference. Good morning. Bonjour, Annie. On behalf of the County of Simcoe and County Council, welcome to the opening day of our first Workforce Connect conference here in Simcoe County. I'd first like to start by thanking our conference partners, our 16 member municipalities in the separated cities of Barrie and Orillia, the Henry Bernick Entrepreneurship Center, the Muskoka Workforce Development Board. Thank you also to all the organizations that supported today's conference. Our 4 area community futures, our 2 area small business centers, the Sandbox Center, and Lakehead University. As we look to enhance and grow local business, it is these partnerships and this type of collaboration that will help us succeed. Today is a great way to get together and share ideas, learnings, and opportunities that will help us grow and build our businesses. And we are pleased to welcome so many leaders to this excellent networking opportunity. Simcoe County is home to over 500,000 residents, and by 2051, our population is expected to surpass 900,000 people. Last year, County Council approved the Economic Development Strategy that provides a path forward for the next 5 years. Our plan recognizes the challenges and opportunities facing local economic development and sets goals, objectives, and action plans to address them. We know businesses identified that a lack of access to skilled and unskilled labor is a major barrier to growth. Through the Western Ontario Wardens Caucus Workforce Strategy, 15 municipalities in southwestern Ontario including the County of Simcoe, are collaborating on a strategy to tackle attraction recruitment, retention, and housing. Along with our partners, the county's Economic Development Office also continues to work to support you through supporting skill development and connecting you with job seekers through virtual job fairs, our workinsimcoecounty.ca portal, and other partner initiatives with Georgian College and Lakehead University. Promoting our region and job opportunities outside our borders, and connecting people, places, jobs, and opportunities through our Links transit system. The county understands all that it will take to grow, and through our vast array of services, we are working to support the health, welfare, prosperity, and quality of life for current and future residents. County Council remains committed to growing our economy, supporting businesses, and expanding our labor market. Working with our partners, including all of you who have joined us today, the future is indeed looking bright for Simcoe County. Thank you all for your past, present, and future efforts to build and develop vibrant, healthy, sustainable businesses and communities. So on behalf of County Council, please enjoy the conference. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech.
Thank you, Warden Cornell. Next, please welcome our keynote speaker, Andrew Au. We're going to have the opportunity for Q&A after Andrew's presentation. So if you have a question during the presentation, you can type it into the chat function. And you're going to find the chat function just at the side of your screen here. There's a blue square with a chat bubble. We're going to address as many questions as we can at the end of the presentation. Andrew's been referred to by Forbes as a digital transformation expert. He helps organizations respond to the new culture and nature of work. Through his innovative work, he was the youngest person to be inducted into the Entrepreneurs Organization at the age of 22. This is my kind of people. He's also among the few that was named to Forbes 30 Under 30 list and has received over 50 awards for business innovation and thought leadership. What makes Andrew's perspective unique is that he doesn't just study digital transformation and culture change. He makes it real for the largest organizations in the world. And he shares these dynamic perspectives with media such as Forbes, Business Insider, Tech Insider, Bloomberg, and BNN. Please welcome Andrew Au.
Sarah, thanks so much for the introduction, and good morning and welcome everybody to today's session. Thank you for spending time. I know that time is always short these days, especially running the meetings and putting out fires here and there. So thank you for spending time. I'm going to take a minute really quick here to just share my screen. Bear with me, make sure that we are good. And then we should be off to the races. So today I thought we could do things a little bit differently. I thought we could run today's session on Kahoot. So if you can join me today and go to kahoot.it, you don't have to download any apps or any programs or anything like that. You can run it right from the browser. Go to kahoot.it and you're going to enter the game pin number that you see in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That's the 1140878. So if you, and that's a 0, by the way, not an O. So 1140878. If you can input that into kahoot.it, go to the website, input that as the game pin number. That is what's going to get you connected to today's session. And if you're on the fence and wondering, well, do I want to play some Kahoot this morning? Let me give you an added incentive. We will be giving away an Ember mug today. This is the world's first temperature-controlled mug. It's got an IoT sensor that is built inside the mug, and you can control the temperature with your phone. So if you think it sounds a little ridiculous, hear me out. You know, I've got 2 young kids in the morning. I make a coffee. I help them get ready for school. And then by the time I get to my coffee, it's cold and I don't want to drink it anymore. That never has to happen to you again if you've got an Ember mug, because you can just have it sit at the exact temperature that you want for the entire day if you so choose. So that is what we're playing for today. How you win is when I throw out questions, you input your answers. Correct answers get points. The fastest answers get the most points. And the person that gets, you know, at that top of the leaderboard, the most points earned, is going to walk away with the Ember mug. We're going to ship it to you. All right. So that's what you're playing for. Now, what are we talking about? We are talking about the new work, new rules. We're going to talk about what are some of the new marketplace shifts, workplace shifts that we're seeing. And ultimately, how do we respond? How do we future-proof our workplace strategy? And as we were talking about earlier this morning, we're seeing new terms like resi-mercial and different things to convey this new hybrid world that we're living in today. Now, before we look ahead, I thought we could take a little lighthearted look back at the past couple years or so to see what we've seen. Well, we saw the great toilet paper panic of 2020. Sales shot up 70% overnight, would have been higher had we had more inventory. And what's interesting, there's actually been a lot of global research done on this phenomenon. Why did we freak out about toilet paper? And it comes down to a very simple fact, which is we don't really think about how much toilet paper that we need or use. And so there's a student out in London that thought to himself, you know what, I could probably change that. And so he creates this website called howmuchtoiletpaper.com. And you can input the number of rolls of toilet paper that you got. And it looks like we're spinning here, so we're just going to give this a minute to let this load. But you can input how many rolls of toilet paper that you got, and it's going to tell you how long you can last in quarantine. And if you're wondering how many people need that, over 15 million people have actually been to the site and inputted that number. So what I'm going to do here, this is the new world of keynotes. I'm going to do a quick stop share and a reshare here just to make sure that we can maybe restart and resume. So give me one moment here. We're going to resume and get this back on the road. So just give me 1 second here. Let's see if we can reshare. Okay, here we go. So we're back. You're going to go to Kahoot.it, which I'm sure you're already logged in, and this is your first question. We're going to be fast on this. So you're going to enter the answers that you see. I see answers already coming in. Here's a tip. Speed is important. So if you're not sure of the answer, I wouldn't Google it. I would just pick your favorite color or pick your favorite number. You're probably going to do better that way. All right. So this is our first question. We got last 15 seconds left. It's coming in fast and furious. It looks like we've all done a Kahoot or two in our day. So that's great. Okay, and it looks like we've got some Ember fans here. That's great. Excellent. 23. So the answer is 23. And so you're going to see this leaderboard change throughout the day. So we're going to see Laura Ari's up there. And I'm interested to see some of the fun nicknames that we got as well. So we're going to find out.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope that you had some really great discussions. I know we got a chance to jump around to a few tables and some really great things were being shared. I think that might be, some of the most important things that we'll take away today is some of the connections we made and some of the new ideas that we got to share with our peers. I wanted to just let you know that we're going to be consolidating what we learned and we're going to share it through the County of Simcoe on workinsimcoecounty.ca. Thank you. It's hard to read websites. Events like today create opportunities to network and share ideas with companies throughout the region. So next up on the agenda, we're excited to introduce Michelle Corner to discuss best practices for workforce attraction and retention. The Human Resources Coordinator at Crozier Consulting Engineers in Collingwood is Michelle, and she just celebrated her 1-year anniversary with this company. Her background is in HR and hospitality. She's been in HR for over 6 years now. Michelle's passion is all things employee experience with a specialty in learning and development as well as employee events. She's a lifelong learner with a leave no stone unturned attitude when it comes to recruiting and retention. Try everything once is her motto. Thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us on stage, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks so much, Hannah. I'll just apologize in advance. I said to a couple other groups, I have a 5-month-old golden retriever, not a baby. Golden retriever acts like a baby. So if he's a little bit disruptive, I apologize in advance. But I'm so excited to be speaking to all of you fine folks and learning so much already from everybody really that I've spoken to. So I come from a private consulting engineering firm, land development, civil, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, I'm excited to, share some strategies. And as we all know, there is a major global workforce shortage. I don't think it has not affected any industry, being that we have, we have more jobs and more roles to fill than people to fill those jobs and those roles. So it's a pain. It's frustrating. I'm sure we've all felt the heat. Trying to find those unicorns. They come few and far between. And so, some strategies that we use at Crozier. So we have 4 offices. Our main one is in Collingwood. We have another office in Milton, Toronto, and Bradford. And some of the strategies that we use, work flexibility, right? Workplace flexibility looks different now compared to a couple of years ago. So, in office hours, work from home hours, that all, we do have a work flexibility policy, or a hybrid policy coming down the pipe. So I'm excited about that, because everyone's work-life balance, it looks different to them, one from the next. So why wouldn't we cater to everybody, because everybody lives a different life, right? We have really great benefits. Another thing we're flexible on is it's not a one size fits all. We've got a couple different plans our employees can choose from, which is really great, because like I said, your family status might look a little bit different than mine. So it's a great way to capture and cater to everybody if we can. We've got a lot of professional development opportunities. Training, lifelong learning, is our goal, right? If you're not learning anymore at work, then what's the point? So providing those theoretical opportunities as well as those practical opportunities for projects and leadership development, right? We have a great parental leave program as well. I like to mention, it's a great top-up program where when a Crozier parent goes on leave, we top up their salary. So rather than making EI, which I think is at 55%, you're making a wee bit more, which is kind of a sweeter sound than just making EI. We have an Rrsp matching program, which is great. I spoke on with the group before about our first-time home buyers program, where I'm sure, as we all know, the housing market really sucks right now. Not a great place, especially if you're not in the market, which is the hardest hurdle. So what we do is, it's a program where you apply, kind of like a bursary, or when you're applying for university college scholarships, and our employees apply, and then we make sure that there's a selection process and all that good stuff, but then it aids the employee in a down payment on a home, which again is the biggest hurdle, getting that down payment in this astronomical housing market where prices are crazy. So that's another way that we can draw people up here. And I'm sure we all know, whether you're Barrie, Orillia, Collingwood, doesn't matter. It's a crazy market. So that kind of helps people come up. We want to bring people up to this area, as much as we can. And if housing's the biggest hurdle, then guess what? We got to tackle the housing crisis right now, because that's affecting directly our recruiting and retention strategy. So that was a really great program we implemented. I believe it was last year, just before I started. And lastly, I'll talk a little bit about wellness. I'm sure, as we all know, we've probably been in webinars and seminars about employee wellness and mental well-being at work. And, I think a lot of organizations talk about, work-life balance. It's kind of like a buzz term. And I don't know that a lot of people know what work-life balance is, or what employee wellness looks like. And so what we've developed is an employee wellness credit program. So we offer an allowance for employees to do all of the wellness things that make them happy. So if it's a gym membership, a golf membership, I used to work at Blue Mountain. I use my wellness credit for my 5x7 to go to Blue Mountain, because I don't get free skiing anymore. So, but now I kind of do, but at a 5x7 rate. So what I'm saying is, when we're targeting, or when we're thinking about recruiting and retention, it's not a one size fits all. We got to cater to different people. There's a new workforce coming in, Gen Z, or I don't know what letter number we're on now, and we got to keep up with the times. And so, how do we do that? by asking people what they want, right? Now, can we please everybody? No. But I think what's important to note is we got to try and we got to meet people halfway. And if it's the first time home buyers program, or if it's a wellness credit, or if it's employee pizza day, whatever's feasible for you, we got to make it work and try it. So I think that's my spiel. I think I only get 5 minutes, so I've probably gone over, but I just share those with you. Um, it, it it's a struggle right now. I get it. I think we all get it with recruiting and retention. So I hope that was insightful. If you got one thing out of it, great. If not, I'm sorry, but I think we're all on the same page about those things. So thank you very much.
Michelle, I'm sure people got stuff out of that. That was great. Thank you so much. I liked your little suggestions. Those are helpful. Does anyone have any questions for Michelle? And if you do, you can pop them in the chat and I'll keep an eye on it. Let's just see here. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the chat as well. And then in addition to that, I wanted to share sort of the plans for the rest of the day, what it's going to look like, and also the rest of the conference. So day one of the conference, we've gotten through that one, which has been really, really great. And I wanted to make sure that you knew that there's a survey that's going to be sent along to all of you with the resources that are relevant to today's topics. If you can fill out the survey, honestly, it's so helpful in order for us to do really data-informed delivery of programs and topics. It helps us to make sure that we're delivering the kind of content that our community needs. So we'll pop the survey link into the chat here, and then also it will be sent out to you with those great resources that were compiled today. And since we don't have any questions, I'm going to say thank you to Michelle for your valuable insights and sharing your perspective from Crozier. And yeah, I'm sure that people will reach out and they can find you on LinkedIn.
I think there was, I am on LinkedIn, yes.
Oh,
But
are
I
you?
think there was a question.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Oh, it's in the chat. Oh, so this is good. Okay. If you can talk a little bit more about the wellness credit program that you experienced.
Oh, absolutely. That wasn't the question I was looking at, but okay.
Cool. Maybe you have two questions. That's good.
Maybe. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. So our wellness credit. So what we do is we offer each employee. There's no waiting period. They get this right off the hop. X amount of money that they can put towards, like I said, anything from a golf membership, ski membership, yoga classes, those meditation apps that are quite expensive for some reason. I don't know why, but they are. And so they can expense that back, right? So if if my ski pass cost $300, I could put that, whatever it was, towards my pass, right? Whether it's covered, whether it's pretty much covered, or I have to fork out a little bit. But this is becoming a trend. I'm hearing a lot of my friends talk about, my wellness credit. A friend of mine, they work for some tech company in Waterloo, and they get $5,000 per employee for a wellness credit for the year. So he bought a Peloton.
Wow.
So
I was like, can you apply that in a Caribbean island?
Right. Yeah. My vacation wellness fund.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really simple, folks. If you can budget some of that, I think it goes a long way. I know I appreciate it from the employee perspective, but I can definitely see the appreciation and oh, wow, like, really? Like, that's a thing? And there's no waiting period. There's no qualifying period. It's just use this money, whatever makes you feel well or feel centered, do it, right? Whatever that looks like. Golf, going to the gym, yoga, ski, whatever.
I like that. It's very appealing for sure.
I'd say.
And now I think my computer has refreshed, so now I can see these great questions. And my friend Joanne asked, hi Joanne, what are some ways, Michelle, that you find out what's important to current and future employees?
And not to simplify this answer, but by asking, not assuming, by asking, what is, by surveying, like I think everyone here knows what Microsoft is, using your technology to leverage, or maybe it's an email survey, right? But we definitely, as far as, I'll speak from the employee events perspective, like what do people want? How do they want to engage now that we're somewhat back to a somewhat in-person workforce, and talking about socialization. That's super important now. We've been so isolated, and I can speak from a personal perspective, being very extroverted and very social. Um, but being very isolated for a long time, I'm finding right now social events are exhausting. So, it's just testing the waters, just asking your leadership team, asking your employee base, um, what would you like to see? I don't think you're not, poking the bear. You're just asking to gain some perspective. And even in the interview process, what do you look for in an organization? Like from a culture perspective, what does that look like to you? What's your ideal work environment? And coming from that place of work-life balance, employee culture, what does that look like to you? Like, throw it back to them and say, hey, well, what does that look like to you? And if we see common themes,
Mhm.
then I think we know what we need to do. And we don't need to, go crazy and change our whole structure and how we do things, but, small steps, right, to implement different things. Because like I said, we work, some of us, I'm sure most of us work in a multi-generational work environment. So we got a lot of people to look after and cater to, and try and understand what makes them tick. And so just by asking, I think it goes a long way.
No, I agree, and there are people that are agreeing in the chat as well, and also the idea of surveys being a little more anonymous, so they can maybe feel braver to share the things that
Absolutely.
they're not quite sure about. And Joanne said, "Thank you for that great answer."
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's excellent. So unfortunately, we have run out of time here. I really appreciate your insights and the information that you've shared by Michelle. Um, Thank you again for joining us, Michelle. I know this platform's fun. So tomorrow we're going to continue this conversation with day 2 of the conference, and it's going to be centered around inclusion and also employee development. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Lisa Belanger, will talk about future-proofing learning and development, and we're going to have a presentation from the World Education Services. So your registration for today will get you into tomorrow's session as well, and we look forward to seeing you at 9 a.m. in the morning. We'll be here with our coffee as well. I just wanted to remind folks that you do have the opportunity to join in again, networking on the floor. We'll leave the floor open for about an hour so that you can continue to network if you choose to do so. Thank you again to all the speakers and all the partners involved in making this conference possible. And thank you everyone here for joining us today. And we will see you back again tomorrow for day 2. Take care.